Hi everyone. I've decided to take a few minutes and make a video for you to welcome you to Unit 6 of the semester. Here we are, it's March 1st, and you've already made it through 5 full weeks of the semester, and we're really underway. And I actually can't believe we're turning March on the calendar and that we're already making our way through the semester. And I also cannot believe that we're on the eve of the 1 year anniversary of COVID. I don't know how you all feel, but it's certainly affecting how I look at the calendar and where we are with the spring coming. And I just keep remembering where we are last year. So just so you know, if any of you were feeling it, I am completely feeling it too. But that's not why I decided to make this video. I decided to make this video so that I could explain to you where we're going in the next couple of weeks with our class and the work that's going to be expected. This is week 6 of the semester, and we're going to focus on time and billing in the law office. During week 7 for the semester, the topic is accounting in the law office. During week 8 of the semester, which is the week of March 15th, that is the week that leads up to the halfway point of the semester. And then the following week is a spring break week where we do not have any classes and there will not be a new unit that week. So usually in classes that I meet, I give a midterm exam during week 8 of the semester, which assesses all the work we've done from week 1 to week 8 of the semester, the halfway point. But I've decided to do something different with our class. I know a number of you are getting ready to graduate, or you'll be graduating soon, and the idea of looking for a paralegal position, or if you're currently in a paralegal position, thinking about your next paralegal position, is always on the forefront of our minds. This is especially true during a COVID year. It is a strange and different time to be looking for a job. And our jobs in the profession have changed a little bit because of COVID. The types of skills that we've had to acquire, our day-to-day lives, are not necessarily the same as they were a year ago. We all know that in our personal lives. Our professional lives are not going to be any different. I mean, there's not an industry or area that has not been impacted in some way. The good news is there are a lot of positions hiring in the law. So this is a good time to be graduating and looking for a job. So where does this bring me to, and why am I making this video? During week 8 of the semester, you will complete, instead of a traditional midterm exam, you will complete a midterm project. The key part of the project, the key part is to conduct and write up about an informational interview with a current working paralegal. I have a number of directions written up for you, but I think it's also helpful for me to explain what the project will entail and how together as a class, we are going to begin working toward the goal of an interview this week in Unit 6. So that's a long way for me to tell you that we have time to work on this together. So during week 6, even though the topic of the week is time and billing, the discussion board will be focused on step number 1 for conducting our informational interview of a working paralegal. So let me just scroll down and show you where that is. If you go to our discussion board and you open it, you'll see that it's a folder. So click on and open the folder. And there's a few things here. The first thing are some links for you to read about what is an informational interview. In short, it's an opportunity to talk to somebody who has a job in the field that you're interested in. We call it an interview, but you're not actually asking for a job. There isn't a job that you're applying for. And that's why that word informational is there. It's an opportunity for you as the person entering this profession or seeking an advancement in this profession or the next steps in this profession. It's an opportunity for you to learn more about what someone does for a living. There's a lot of jobs out there that we just don't know what they are or what they entail. And this is an opportunity for you to learn more. This is also the part of the video where I want to tell you that that is how I moved from being a lawyer to being a teacher in the law. I went to law school. I did not have formal education in teaching. I did not get a master's in education. but I was working as a lawyer and I was thinking about a career transition. And I had known someone who was teaching law students. And I said, and then I knew someone else actually who was also part-time teaching paralegals. And I said, I think I might like that, but I'm not sure. Like it sounds like something I might like to do, but I think I need to learn more about it. And so that's what I did. I went on informational interviews with the director of two paralegal programs, directors of paralegal programs in Massachusetts. And I'll talk more about that in another video I'm going to make for you guys. But I just want you to know that informational interviewing can provide a lot of really useful information to help you learn about positions out there, about what you want to do and what you don't want to do. But there's some steps we should take to be prepared for how to do that. So step number one together in our class this week is we're going to work on interview questions. We're not going to think about necessarily who we're interviewing, but I want you to read this information about informational interviewing, and I want us to use the discussion board to share with each other what kinds of questions you would want to ask somebody who's currently working as a paralegal. So that's step number one. Next week's discussion board in Unit 7, I'm going to provide you with a list of, I have at least 5 to 7 paralegals that have come to our career panels before, some of whom graduated from MCC, but all of whom are amazing individuals, are passionate about what they do, and I've already spoken to all of them, and they are more than happy to speak to you all. So don't fret if you don't know a paralegal. If you listen to this video and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to interview a paralegal? I don't know one. Not to worry. I have some that are more than happy to meet you, of course, electronically or over the phone. So step number one this week, we're going to work on interview questions. Step number two next week is you'll have an opportunity to see the list of paralegals that I have available for you. If you know somebody that you would like to interview, you can interview that person. You don't have to interview off my list. But we will also talk next week about how to draft an appropriate business email or a phone call, but we're going to talk more about the email to set up and request an interview. And so by the end of next week's class, kind of, during Unit 7, you should work on putting together who you want to interview and also the email that you plan to send professional email to this person requesting the interview. So we'll have a list of questions to go off of, and we will have a cover type letter to send. And then actually, depending on timing, you can really begin to talk to the paralegals beginning in Unit 7. And I'll talk more about that in just one second. But what I'm trying to tell you is that is your project to work on during week 8. I will not have another traditional unit with new material because I know that you will need the time to finalize your questions, to set up an actual time for an interview, to conduct the interview, and we'll talk about how that could be over a Zoom or it could be over the telephone, whatever you guys decide you want to do. And then there's a piece of the midterm project that is also to write up a reflection afterwards. And you'll see all the directions to put that all together, but I'm giving you time to do this because you'll have basically part of Unit 7 to contact the paralegal. You'll have time during week 8 of the semester that would normally be your classroom time. And then because we go right into spring break, this will not be due until after spring break. That way, if you need additional time to set up a meeting with your paralegal, like I know how this works. Sometimes you set up a meeting and then one of you might not be able to make it. That gives you all of spring break week to work on it as well and turn it in afterwards. So that's why I want to make this video, just so you can see where the schedule is going. But now that I've made this video, I will post information about the midterm over the next few days, just so you can see all the steps. So the one other thing I want to say is on my list of paralegals, again, I think I have 7 names of confirmed individuals who are more than happy to be interviewed. I think there's 10 of you in this class. So what that means is everybody should have at least someone, but what I don't want is 5 or 6 people to all interview the same paralegal on the list. So if I'm going to have you guys tell me who you want to interview. Don't jump ahead and already call that person, because let's say 5 of you all want to interview Bob. There's nobody actually named Bob. I just made that up. I may have to pick names out of a hat and randomly assign. So during week 7, we'll pick together who's interviewing whom, just because I don't want to overwhelm one person having to give 5 interviews and someone else is not giving any. But I've informed everybody that they should expect to give 1 to 2 interviews, and I think that'll work well. Again, these are all awesome people who have already spoken at career panels, and they are so excited to work with you all. So everybody's amazing. I promise you that. All right, I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, you know how to reach out to me on email. You can post a question on the discussion board. I just want to make one other final comment about our Unit 6 discussion board. Even though the discussion board is devoted to preparing for our midterm project, if you have a question or comment about this week's material of billing, then absolutely feel free to ask your question or make your comment on the board. I don't want you to think that we don't have an opportunity to discuss the material this week as well. So I just wanted to make sure to say that, because I did not put that in the board itself. So I really look forward to this. I think this is going to be really fun and exciting. And I was so happy to reach out to alumni and others. So if you have any questions, let me know. And I look forward to our discussion board this week. Have a good week, everyone.